Hi, I'm Mary Director and I'm a Fun Stampers Journey Coach and Manager. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card, and we're going to do a little bit of repurposing with some tags that I received as a Bloom benefit. Let me show you some information first. My blog is KreatesKardsJourney.blogspot.com. My business website is funstampersjourney.com/Mary Director. And I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/KreatesKardsJourney. I'll bring this back at the end of the video. Today, I decided that I wanted to make something different, and I've received a number of these packages of Taggets, which are Bloom benefit. And there's 20 per bag. And I used all 20 of them on the card. So I'm going to show you step by step how the card is made. It's a little bit labor intensive, but it's not hard to do. It's not difficult at all. We start out with a card base. This is an A2 that is 8.5 by 5.5. I've creased it in the middle at the 4 1/4 mark. This is, let me look at colors for you. The green is Limeade Splash, and the yellow that I'm using is Pineapple Smoothie. I used different colors than I did in my original card, just to give a little bit of variety. What I did is I cut the Pineapple Smoothie down to approximately 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I did, after I put this first row on, I did trim it off just a little bit with my paper trimmer. Just be sure that your tags are dry when you go to do that, because I was using craft glue. If they weren't dry and I went to trim them, these could all shift, and you don't want that to happen. So let's go into the process of making the card. We're going to crease our card base, and then we'll set it aside. We'll come back to it. I took the tags, and what I've done with the tags, let me move this over. What I've done with the tags is I went ahead and I cut off the metal. Now I could have left the metal on for a different look, but it makes them, they stick up a little bit, and I also knew that if I did it, it put them too close together this way. So I want the metal tips off. So I'm going to cut as close as I can to the edge. And try to cut straight. It's not mandatory, but it does help when you go for the placement. I'm also using my craft glue, which is the Journey craft glue. There's a small tip on this end, and there's a wide tip on the bottom, so you have 2 different ways that you can apply the glue. I'm going to use the fine tip. This is an antique toothpick holder that I got, and I always leave my glue when I'm not using it in an upright position so that there's always glue at one of the tips. It's just one of the ways that you can get all the glue out also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the craft glue on here. I try to get fairly good coverage so that I don't have any parts that won't lay flat. And then, oops, pardon my fingers being in the way. And then I'm just going to line it up so it's mesh here and mesh with the side of the card. And then I take a paper towel and I just press down. You may have a little bit of seepage on the side. It's not a big deal because the pieces are going to mesh to each other. Then I'm going to do my final one. I went ahead and did the rest of these. I felt that you really didn't care whether you saw me glue all 20 of these on or not, but at least this way you see, oops. Fortunately landed on my blouse with the glue side out. This way you can see how I did the card, how I set up the pieces. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here, lining it up, pressing, and then what I do just for extra pressure as I turn it upside down and I apply firm pressure. You could take your crease tool and do the same thing. You just want to be sure that the glue spreads out. Okay, so now I've done that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add on the silver sparkle tape, which is AC-0259. This is in the Spring into Summer catalog, and it's got scallops on it. I love the sparkle. And I just go in, and what I try to do is cut at an end of a scallop so that it'll line up flat here, and then I just press it along here. It's a little bit longer than I need, so I turn it upside down and I just trim. Our scissors, because they've got the black handle, that identifies them as self-sharpening and non-stick. And we also have a larger scissor with the exact same type of blades on it, cutting edges. Okay, so we did that. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Just take a second. And with the washi tape, if you set it down and it's not straight, you can, as long as you haven't pressed, you can pick it back up. You see how easily it comes back up? Okay. Once you press, though, that makes a much firmer connection, and you take the chance of ripping your cardstock underneath. Okay. Okay, again, that was the silver sparkle tape. Now we're going to take our base. I'm going to take my crease tool, and I'm going to be sure I get a nice crease to this. This piece has been cut just a fraction smaller. Remember, I cut off 1/4 inch so that it will fit here and give a border. For this one, I'm going to use our white liner tape. It's double-sided adhesive, AD-0001. And with the white liner tape, because it's double-sided, one side has a protective coating on it. This tape, again, can just be ripped with your fingers. And we're going to do all 4 sides. And then usually I put a strip in the middle too, just to give it a little extra hold. And I do that especially if it's anything where the card front has weight to it. I'm going to trim this one because it went a little bit over. I want my cards to arrive in one piece and where everything's hooked together like they're supposed to be. Going to take my bloom tool, and again with the crooked metal hook, just do that. You apply pressure, come to the end, it just comes right off. Pressure. And if you have any of this tape where it goes up over the end, just bring your finger and bring it back so that it's back within the back of the card. You know, the piece that you're working on. This tool makes this so much easier. Okay, here we go. Okay, card opens this way. Oh, this one doesn't matter. There's not a, at this point, there's not a right or wrong, just as long as it goes the right length. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and again apply pressure. Do this only if your items are flat. If you've put buttons or anything on first, you do that, you're going to end up buckling your card, so only if it's a flat surface. Okay, we're done with the white liner tape. Now what I'm going to do is I cut out this really pretty leaf, and what I used with the leaf was the wedding, let me see, the wedding sprig die, and it's DI-0165, and I actually did it with our printed vellum. And the printed vellum is on our retiring list, and I want to show you what it looks like. It's this isn't going to completely show in. It's Vellum Designer Prints AC-0136. The pages you get are 8.5 by 11. There's 12 sheets in total, 3 designs, 3 of each, and 3 plain. So we have gold, silver, black, and plain. Circles, hearts, and stripes, and then the plain one, of course, there's no design at all. And I put a piece of white cardstock behind it so you could see. See the shimmer and the shine to that? It's beautiful vellum paper. And again, it's on our retirement list right now, so it's going to be 30% off. The vellum just adds another element, another dimension to your card. And what I've done is I want the shiny side of the dots up. So I'm going to turn it over, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to use some glue dots, and the glue dots are on their own little, if you probably can't see that, it's on its own little piece of plastic. And so once you put the glue dot on, you just take the plastic off and then toss it. The little plastic piece, the clear plastic piece, can develop static electricity. So just so you're aware, sometimes you walk away with them on your hands. Now this one, the glue dot is up and over there we go. See, this one's not going to, wait a minute. Okay, usually if I wad up the little plastic, then I can get it off my finger. Okay, so this is actually over the edge. So I'm just going to take my fingers and I'm going to push it so it's within that line. And then I'm going to place it here. There we go. And there's a little bit of sticky there, just a little, but my sentiment is going to go over the top of that, so it really won't matter. This paper was, the card base was Limeade Splash. Yeah, Limeade Splash. I don't actually have that ink, so I went ahead and I used our green olive for the sentiment. And the sentiment, I want it to pop up, so I'm going to use our Journey foam squares in the medium. We have both small and medium sizes. Just need a couple of them. If you wanted, you could sponge the sentiment. You could, you know, use your pan pastels. There's all kinds of different options for the look. Okay, I bring it in just a little bit. Card's finished. And I cut this out with the Tag Elements dies, and works great in the Amaze or the Platinum machine. Same with the leaf, that'll work in either machine. So we're all set. Here's our 2 cards. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And again, my website is funstampersjourney.com/MaryDirector.